Hi there! After nearly a year of waiting from Kickstarter and Synatech, I today finally received my HDMI Pi. So let's take a look. It's a really small box. It came with DPD, and here, let's see what's in there. I'm sorry for the mess on my desk, but yeah, I really have a small place to work with. First of all, we have a small paper which tells us what should be in here. A SD card, I guess the power supply. Yep, a Europe type power supply. Don't need that yet. The complete box with all kinds of hardware and string and a small stand. Don't need it either. So, well, don't need the box. So let's see what's in here. It seems to be really packed very well. A HDMI cable, short micro USB, some screws and buttons, and the PCB. It really looks nice, nice and shiny. They seem to have fixed some of the soldering points. It doesn't look really clean from the board itself. But overall, looks really nice. Guess we don't need that yet. And all of the different pieces we need to use to put together. So Alex made a really nice video to put these things together, so we are going to use that. But first, let's check we have everything. The ribbon cable is already attached to these monitors, so we don't need to do that. So now just let's make sure all screws are here. First of all, some buttons. Some spacing. And all kind of screws. So everything from the list seems to be complete. So let's start with the video from Alex. I have it here on my iPad. I'm really sorry for the sound between the video and... but yeah.
So you've just received your HDMI Pi in the post, and here's the box. So let's have a look what's inside. So you should have a piece of paper showing you...
I'm going to skip this. Yeah, we just look what is in there.
Lots of dust between the front plate and your LCD. It's quite difficult to get rid of it. So now I am going to place the bezel.
I think I skipped too much.
Now my suggestion is that you make sure that your bench or tabletop or wherever you're going to assemble this is really clean, because acrylic does attract dust. It's quite easy for it to get electrostatically charged and attract dust to it, and when you peel off the protective layers it can attract dust, and you really want to minimize the amount of dust around, because it can be a little bit annoying if you get lots of dust between the front plate and your...
Alex is making a really nice addition to the video to make sure you're in a dust-free room. Badly enough, I'm not in the possibility to be, so there's quite a kind of amount of dust here, so I'm afraid we need to work with that and make sure we don't move too much.
LCD, it's quite difficult to get rid of it. So now I am going to place the bezel down here and go over it with my white glove I have from photography, just to get the flecks of dust off. So here we go, I'm just going to wipe round just to try and get off.
Yeah.
This bezel is made of polyester, which also can attract a little bit of dust because
it doesn't look bad at all, so I guess it's fine.
Okay, so it will scratch though, so you do have to use something fairly gentle. Right, the next thing we need to do is peel one side with the vacuum off the front piece, which is the big flat piece with just a few holes in it. So I sometimes get criticised for my nails, which is quite amusing, but they're really useful for things like this. Obviously, the cleaner you can keep it, the better. So you don't really want dust or fingerprints on it if you possibly can help it. So the next thing you want to do is to pick up the bezel and invert it into position. There. Now it's face down. You can breathe easy a little bit, but you still don't want to get lots of dust in this area because it'll be between the front plate and your LCD. After that, there are two coloured layers, so you should have one with wide sides and one with narrow sides. The one with narrow sides goes next, so that will go on there like that. But first, before we put it there, we're going to peel off the film from both sides.
So, need to put on the small sides. That's this one.
Trying not to get fingerprints on it if possible.
So let's take it off.
But it's not quite as critical as the front plate. This is my favourite fluoro yellow colour. Right, so that's the foil off that one. That's the narrow one. The LCD is going to sit in this space here. Next we're going to take 6 of the long bolts from the hardware pack.
Alex made some nice mention of the narrow side, which needs to be at the side of the Pi logo. So just make sure that's, in my case here on the left, that's the small side of the screen.
And we're going to push them through the holes to get everything lined up. You don't have to do 6, you could just do 3 at this point and then do the rest later. It's up to you, but you don't want to try and minimize fingerprints and all of that sort of thing. So I'm just going to do the 4 corners at this stage. Some of them you might have to wiggle about a little bit just to get them precisely lined up.
They really fit tight with the small black part, so please be careful when attaching it. I'm going to 3 sides. I'm a bit lazy. So I do 2 corners and the middle one at the bottom. It should be fine. It's only to make sure everything keeps in place and not to all together yet. As you see, the fit is really narrow, so make sure to be careful not breaking the plexiglass.
Okay, so now we're going to fit the LCD. This is the bottom with the HDMI Pi logo, so I'm going to put it that way round. Then make sure that it's clean. This is the bottom with the HDMI Pi logo, so I'm going to put it that way round. Then make sure.
Okay, so that way around is the Pi logo in the left corner.
Clean inside, we'll just go over it quickly. Half up with the rocket blower to get rid of any stray dust. The LCD comes in a protective bag. We're going to take that out of its bag now. I'm now going to peel protective strip, the protective film off the LCD. Now here we have the peeled LCD. Just going to puff over that to make sure there's no dust. You want the fat part at the bottom, which is this side. So I'm just going to up and over that. And in it goes. It should fit nice and snug.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Seems to fit pretty well.
The retaining layer, which is the coloured layer.
Just make sure everything fits well and
This holds the LCD in place. There should be one of these.
I mixed some of the video, so I shortly go back.
You want the fat part at the bottom, which is this side. So I'm just going to up and over that. And in it goes. It should fit nice and snug. Okay, great. So now we're going to fit the retaining layer, which is the coloured layer, or colourless if you chose colourless. This holds the LCD in place.
We need to make sure, again, the plastic is peeled off here, so it's not mentioned in the video.
Should be one of the. Okay, great. So now we're going to fit the retaining layer, which is the coloured layer, or colourless if you.
My addition of the retaining layer is actually different from Alex. I have 4 small points. I guess they should be to the bottom, but it's not mentioned in the video at all.
Chose colourless. This LCD in place. There should be one of these in your pack. It will probably be already fitted.
Mine is already fitted as well, so I should be fine. It's good practice to put a piece of tape across there just to stop that from accidentally coming out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape over there just to stop that from pulling out. There's no tape over this one yet, so I guess we should do that later. I have no tape here right now,
Now we're ready to put the next layer on. The next layer is a clear layer, colourless, and this slot needs to be on the same side as that, and the holes need to be at that end because that's where the driver board is going to go. Those
again, he forgets to mention you need to take it off, so I guess we do that now.
And holes will line up with that, so they need to be like that. Alright? But first, before we do any of that, we'll do the usual. We need to peel the protective layers.
I guess I
of this.
just was too fast.
To the mounting plate and also a Raspberry Pi, which you don't have to do, but if you want to, now's the time to attach them both. So the first thing to do actually is to take this layer off. You've seen how it's going to fit now, so we'll remove the driver board, take this layer off and make sure everything stays the right way round. So I'm going to slide that out of the way. This is one of the reasons we still leave the protective cover on the front, because it gives us flexibility to move around without messing everything up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take, in your hardware pack there should be two 2.5mm bolts and 4 nylon nuts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep the plate in the same orientation it is now and push one of the bolts through and thread one of the nuts onto it. Okay, it might help to have a little screwdriver. To help you do that. And notice I've not done it up really tight, it still spins, it's just done up gently. That gives you a little bit of wriggle room if things need to be wriggled around to fit well. Okay. Alright, just spin that round. Just use the screwdriver to speed them up. Okay. Now these will do two things. Act as little standoffs to keep the driver board off the surface, and they also hold the bolts in place while you do the upper nuts to retain the driver board. But if you're fitting a Pi at this stage, you need to attach that. So you would take the HDMI connector, push it in.
I actually need to find a Pi here in my small mess, which I go to use here. I guess I can use this one.
You can see it lines up with the Pi mounting holes.
It's just a tiny bit
So then
dirty.
you would take the remaining two of these.
There it goes. Okay, it's just a tiny bit dirty, but yeah, should be fine. Let's go back a bit. I'm not that far yet. My Pi seems to be pretty steady within the nuts, so I hope it's fine. I guess it is. It is pretty hard to get them on, so take your time when doing it. It also helps if you take the right one for the size. This is 3.5mm nylon nuts, while the other small ones are 2.5. So be sure to take the right one. And tighten them up a bit. I think this is one of the worst parts of the design of the Pi, that you need to take off it again.
Okay. Now for the last three.
So that was putting it together. Let's put in the SD card. There we go. And the power supply. As you can see, I made some of fingerprints on the outside. Doesn't look really well, so I guess that's the disadvantage of using plexiglass. So there we go. No signal. It looks like the Pi is not powering up. To debug this, I'm afraid we need to take off the cover. It might be just this Pi that's broken or something else, I don't know. It's really hard to see what's the problem without opening the case. I'm taking off the power as well to make sure nothing gets broken. One of the spaces went off. Everything seems to be connected fine, so I guess we do try it another time. Yep, and now it works. And it is booting. I'm going to take it off a bit and make sure everything is connected well and put it together back. And there we go. Let's see. Open ALAC booting. with XBMC, of course. And yeah, as I currently don't have a network connection to the Pi, it's probably kinda hard to do anything. Yeah, so I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching.